Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. One good morning to all. We can resume our previous class where we stop at that moment. Today also we are discussing about the development of social work. I think last class we stopped at the stage where we discussed about a social casework. Okay, and we can start from social group work. Here in the first step, we are just what is learning about the methods only. Okay, the brief study we are going to have on next year, and one of the method we are studying the sixth chapter. Okay, the last class we discussed about the social case work, that is the work of a social worker with an individual, helping an individual to solve his psychosocial problems, help the individual to cope with his adjustment of problems, encourage the individuals to cope with the problems happening in this future and how to handle it, and through that helping the person to adjust it, and also uh, a society development. Now we can learn about the social group or what is social group. Yeah. What is social group for? What is a group? I think in the another textbook, another chapter, you will be learning about group, different types of group, the definition of group, okay, theories behind the formation of group, everything. Now, in the social work concerning the group work means it is a method. I think we have already studied about different methods. This is the second method, it's the primary method of social work. The social group work means it is a method in which the group of individuals in a groups in a social settings, okay, are helped by a social group worker who guides their interaction in program activities so that they may relate themselves to others and experience the growth opportunities in accordance with their needs and capacities to the end of individuals, group, and community development. This definition is given by Clarkson in 1955. That means the social group work, it's a method. Okay, in that method, different individuals are in the group. Okay, we know group means one or two or more people are joined in this called group. No, and the different individuals with a similar problem something. Okay, and it is an environment of group of people. How? In the agency settings, the each individuals in the groups are helped by the group worker. Okay, and the group worker will guide the members, okay, through an interaction between the group worker and the members, and interaction between the members, and through it, the each members in the group are helped. Okay, each members in the group are help each other, and through which what will happen is individual development will happen, and also a group development will happen. Yes, through that the individuals by sharing their experience, and it is an opportunity for the each members in the group to help each other, and it is an opportunity for the each members in the group to make a development. And through a group activities, each members of the group will be what is encouraged to form a development, and also at last end result is a group development and also an individual development. And it is an effective method in nowadays for solving psychosocial problems of the group, problems affected by the individuals. Okay, this is an effective method. One of the effective methods in social work to solve the problems or encouraging the group or encouraging the individuals. Then there are some scope. What is the scope of group work? I think we in the definition itself, it's having its own scope, right? What is that? Then we can just number it to some scope of group work. What are the scope of group work in solving the problems of individuals or a group or a community? What are the scope? One of the scope is that this group work, social group work, is not only what is that giving help to an individual. It is giving help to the entire group. Okay, giving attention to a particular group, a particular individual, we can tell as a casework right now. But in the scope, in the group work, there is a scope is that through the group work, it is not only what is the individuals taking help, but sometimes for the entire group are benefited. Then another group, scope is that if the small groups, okay, they have got a lot of scope in participatory approach to development. If it is a small group, means each members can actively participate in the activities. Through a participatory approach, the small group can develop, and also individuals. This is another group. What is the scope? Then also it develop an interaction, group interaction. It encourages the individual's interaction. It is a platform for individual sharing. Individuals can share their experience, and individuals get what is a platform to help others. It is a stage of individual can develop their capacity. Okay, through the group interaction, through the group activities, if the individuals can take out their capacity, can develop their capacity, can use their sharing, they can incorporate their ideas. Okay, through that, what will happen? They can share their ideas, they can help each other. Through that, an individual's development will happen, and also a group development also happen. This is another scope for group work. Then some values. What are the values in group work? Some of the values. We know the social work has value. We have already discussed about the values, right? About the values. Then what are the values in group work? Some values are there. It is given by the Konopka, okay, in 1963. Some values. And some of them are participation and positive relation among the people. Okay, in the group work, the participation and a positive relationship among the group of people, they belongs to different colors, different creed, age, national regions, or social class, or religions, or people from different geographical area. Means these people or individuals from those who are coming from different regions, okay, different categories. Okay, I will. People are from different, coming from different regions. Okay, irrespective of their religion, irrespective of their caste, their social class, their politics, their geographical area, whatever it may be, in the group should have a positive and a harmonious relationship between all the members. That is core values in group work. Okay, there is no typism, there is no what is any other type of isolations in the group. All the members, whether it is not irrespective of their economic or their culture, their caste, means all people will have a positive relation, a helping mentality, and also they will have a harmonious relationship in the group. That is one value in the group work. Okay. Then another one is the value of cooperation and mutual understanding or mutual decision making embodied in the principle of participatory democracy. Means in the group, the decision making happens in the democratic process. Okay, there is no domination in the group. That is one of the values. Means they will not promote any other dominations in the group. Means the decisions are taken, decisions are making in a participatory approach and a democracy level. Means if any other what is the solution, if the group act through the group activities, if the solution is brought out with the help of all the members, okay, it does not depends on one member's decision in the group. Okay, the decisions are taken or the solutions are come out with the participatory approach and the democratic level. Okay. This is another value of group work. Then another value is the importance of individual initiative within the group. That is another value. What is that? Importance of individual initiative. There is no compulsion. Means in the group. We know in the group work sometimes 6 members will be there, 8 members will be there, 10 members or 12 members. Okay. And in the group work will not what is compel any member to take a decision. Means decision are will come through an individual initiative. If each members in the group will take what is the initiative in participation or any other decision taking. Okay, it will not keep in mind that if you are a group worker, I think we should not impose our ideas on group, and you should not compel any members to take decision. Okay, in the group work, what is happening? The individuals will take initiative. That is another value in group work. Then another value is that in the importance of freedom to participate. Okay, freedom to participate and freedom to expressing the thoughts and feelings about the matters concerned to individual members as a group, as a whole. That is another value. There's a freedom to participate in the activity. Okay, freedom to participate in the activity, and there's a freedom to share our feelings in the group. Okay, there's a freedom to share our feelings in the group. That is another value in the group work. Then another value is that in the value of high individualization in the group, so that each member's unique concerns are addressed. Means in the value of individualization, the value is high individualization means in the group, as I said just like before, if the group contains sometimes 8 members or 10 members or 12 members, each members means we know the principle of social work is that every individual is unique. Therefore, each individuals have what is the dignity, and dignity is respected. Okay, each individual's feelings are respected in the group. Therefore, each individuals are given concern in the group. Okay, that is another value of group work. If we are a member in the group, if we get in the following such condition, what is the values, we can call that it's a good group work. Okay, if it is satisfying all the values, we can call it as a good harmonious group work, and also it will give fruitful results to the members in the group. What are those? Means participation in a positive relationship among the group members. Okay, positive relationship among the group members. Besides their irrespective of their creed, their caste, their religion, and their geographical area, everything, all will have a positive relationship. Then what is the individual initiative? Individual initiative within the group. Then individuals will have a freedom to express their feelings, okay, and freedom to express their thoughts in the group, okay, that will help. And also in the decision making process, uh, in the no one will dominate, it is what is harmonious and it is participatory approach in the decision making and democratic level. And also every individual is respected. These are all in the values in group work. This is what I want to say about group. And rest of the things I think you just read, and you are going to study about group work in the second year. Okay, this is just a peripheral level. What is group work? What is its values? What is assumptions? Okay. Yeah. Then come to the next method, that is community organization. What is community organization? We have heard about community, different community, right? And also we come across some of the community development programs and project of government, right? And what is community organization? In this topic, we learned about community organization, and it's different from community development. Community development and the community organization are different. Okay. And what is community organization? There is a definition given by Morarji Ross, or in short, it is called MG Ross. Okay, Morarji Ross. Community organization is a process. But it is a process. Okay, by which community identify its needs and objectives. Who will identify the community? The community identifies its needs and objectives. Community identifies their needs, their problems. Okay, and orders or rank these needs and objectives. And community will make an orders or will ranks the problems or objectives, needs and objectives. Will prioritize these needs and objectives, and develop a confidence and a will to work at these needs and objectives. Okay, and find resources, or internal or external, to deal with these needs and objectives, and take action in respect to them. And so in doing, extend and develop a cooperative and a collaborative attitudes and practice in the community. That is the definition of community organization. That means we can divide this sentence into 5 or 6 sentences. Means in simply, what is in the community organization, community identify. Okay, keep in mind that within the community themselves identify the problem. Okay, the its needs and objectives. And then then second step is, then the community, they will rank or orders the objectives and needs. In the community identify lot of number of problems or number of objectives, a number of needs, and they will rank. They will prioritize these needs, and which problem or which objective should be treated as most important. Okay, and which uh, problem should be treated as most important. And after that, and the community will make the confidence and will work to these objectives and needs by finding the resources within the community or from outside. Okay, the community identify the resources from the community itself. it is called some internal or external. That may be the human resources or any other material resources, what is available within the community. Okay. And for deal with these needs and objectives, and take action in respect of them, and take action in according to the what is the needs and objectives, and also in respect of the resources, and also through a participation and collaboration with the community members. Okay, and through that it will, and the ultimate aim is to make a community development. And as you are a community mobilizer or a community organizer, okay, sometime we may be getting a chance to work as a community organizer. What will be our duty? We will reach the community, and with the help of the community, we will identify the problems or needs and objectives. There are different techniques are there. Okay, PRI, like PRI, different techniques are there. Through different techniques, and with the help of the community, we will identify the lot of problems. Okay, just for example, if the community, and the best example of the community is some watershed management programs. Okay, in the watershed management programs, and the community identifies the needs. What is the needs? Their water scarcity, their road facility, the hygiene, education, some other then internet facility. These are some of the problems identified in the society. Then out of this, we'll make order or rank or prioritize the problems. Which one will give more prioritize, more importance to the community? Okay, then we'll what is it? We'll give a rank first to water scarcity. Then next, as soon as they will give a second, third rank, and the first priority is given here is water scarcity. Then next one is what is with the then identify the resources. Okay, from the community itself, means with the help. Sometimes may take the help of what is their grassroots level, any other institutions help, whether just like a Panchayat Raj institution help. Okay, then some fund mobilization from the community, and with and after that with the collaboration of the local bodies. Okay, if we want to implement any programs or project in the community, first we should get the collaboration and cooperation from the local bodies and the persons in from the community, and through the collaboration and cooperation of the community members, we will successfully implement the programs. And through that process, as I said like before, it's a process. Okay, and through the process, they ensure the community development through addressing that problem. Okay, like that, in the community organization, we'll address some of the community problems and find out. And when we trace the history, okay, when we trace the history of community organization, the first community organization of social welfare initiated in the United Kingdom in the 19th century. Okay, for overcoming the problems of poor people. I think while studying the history of social worker, we are learning about the initiation of what is a different organization and community people to address the poverty issues right now. Like that, in the community, or when we trace the history of community organization, it is we can see that it is started. It is having as history as like and what is a social work in the world. And first it is started in the United Kingdom in the 19th century as a form of identifying and what is the problem of the poor people in the rural area, and also to identify the problem of poverty due to beggary, okay, like that. Then next one, and the next stage is that in the settlement movement, what we study is settlement movement, the initiation of settlement movement, which is originated in England in 1880. Okay, means that is settlement movement means what is the settlement movement? Means just that the houses are centered or catered for the needs of the rural peoples. Okay, rural peoples, and the people are visited, and the rural people and the needy people are taken, are inhabited in the houses, and they were giving training, training, counseling, and other services, which leads to make each individual's social or community development. And 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 this through the settlement movement, they identify the poor people, okay, and address their problem and help the poor people by giving what is the necessary help to lead them a good life, okay, like that. And a settlement movement was started in UK, in England in 1880, and the settlement movement was reached in USA around 1886. Okay, that was a neighborhood-based and catered for immigrants from Europe. Means in the USA, that settlement movement started to identify the problems of the people, those who are immigrants from the Europe to the USA. Okay, and they provided the services to the rural people. And in the 20th century, we saw the growth or the birth of a community councils, different community councils for helping the people. Okay, and these different community councils, they functioned well, and they show their efficiency. Okay, efficiency, and also they encourage the specialization in dealing with a different group of people or different people in the community. Yes, people are there having different problems, and this settlement movement, they initiated starting training, and they encouraged the group members to deal with different what is a group to different people. And also they set a standard for accessing, okay, for the what is a standard for providing services, and also they set a standard of providing leadership to the member of the agency, okay, for giving a service to the rural people. This was some of the history tracing when we learning about community organization. But when comes to India, we know the community organization started as a part of professional services in 1936 at Tata Institute of Social Science, Mumbai. Okay, and in India, we can see that more of the development has started in the form of community development. Okay, then historical community development, community work in India is as a part of what is it given trust in developing the what is areas of education, health, agriculture development. Okay, by matching the needs with the available resources in the country. In India, the community work mostly focused in the areas of education and health care areas, like agriculture development. Then Another point is that what are the place of community work in social work profession? What are the place of community work in social work profession? Okay. We have already learned that community work has as long as history as the social work too in the world right now. And also in the Western context, there has been a particular interest in the community work in relation to community health and promoting health community care in the community. That's a means there's a care or a promotion of community empowerment. Then community development and a community organization. Then now we can just distinguish between community organization and the community development. Okay. There is a common philosophical base between the community organization and community development. This both the community development and the community organization are formed to enable the people to live a happy and a fully developed life. Okay. Then community development, we know it is the effort are taken by the government or state, okay, are taken by the government for fulfilling the needs of the community, whether it is a political or a socio-economic, all the areas. Efforts are taken by the community or taken by the state to promote in the community life of the people. Then what are the difference between the community organization and the community development is that community organization, we know it is a process, okay, and it is the first, it is practiced in the developed countries. In the history, while tracing the history, we already know community organization in the world, it is started in the United States and United Kingdom, no? In the developed countries, as a form of voluntary basis. Right now, the community workers will provide services in the community and the collaboration of the community through a voluntary services. But in the case of community development is mostly implemented or community development in most of the underdeveloped countries are government sponsored program. That's a main difference between community organization and the community development. That's one is it is a process and also it is done in a voluntary basis. Okay, but in the community development, it is practiced in underdeveloped countries as a form of government sponsor program. Okay, just in India, there are a lot of examples are there for community development. Okay. Then another one is community organization is mostly concerned with starting or developing new social welfare agencies. Okay, the community organization is mostly concerned with starting or developing new social welfare agencies. Through the community organization process is concerned for its days for the origin of new social welfare agencies. Okay, a number of different kinds of social welfare agencies they initiated in starting the community organization process. And in the case of community development, it is concerned with inducing social change. It is concerned with inducing a social change and as such becomes a powerful tool to bring about a social change in the traditional society. Okay. In the case of a community organization, it is developing what is the process mostly concerned with the social welfare agencies and the social process. But in the case of community development, it is practiced to try to make a change in the traditional society by implementing different programs. Okay. Then another difference is that community organizations tends to be in the process oriented. It is a process. It is a continuous process, and in that community organization process, evaluation is there in a particular after a particular period. The process will the development stage will evaluate. Okay, then after that, and the further stage will be taken. Different techniques are used, but in the community development, as practiced in a target oriented. Okay, that is not a process. That's a target oriented activities. These are some of the difference between community organization and community development. Next one is about social action. What is social action? Social action. This is we know this is one of the secondary method of social work, right? Social action. You know, it defines we can Arthur Dunham in 1958. I will just go through his definition, then we can discuss. Okay, that means he defines Arthur Dunham defines social action as an efforts to bring about change. Okay, effort means it's an action is an efforts to bring about a change or prevent the change. To bring about a change or prevent change in current social practices or situation through education or law or propaganda or persuasion on or pressure on behalf of objectives believed by the social actionist to be socially desirable. Okay. We can go just to say that there is a example. There are a lot of social if it is social reform is a social action. Then our independence revolution is a social action. Okay. Then then India, there are a lot of social actions are there. Nandigram also is a part of social action. Then Coca-Cola even in Kerala is a social part of social action. Means then if you take example of the sati, okay, it is banned in India. It's an olden culture. That means that prevent that make a change or to prevent a change the current social and situation through education means changes are made brought in the society through education. Okay, I think in the current scenario, if we take a few years back, the current scenario itself in India, we are victim of a lot of social action. And then what are the steps when we analyze, when we go through the deeply about each what is the action, when we analyze each action, we can see that through each action, and they have an object of social change, a desirable change in the society, and also the problems are identified through education. Right now, first we will provide a what is a will educate, will make an aware about the current situation, why this particular issues is harmful to the society, and what is the what is actually it means, will define the problems. Then through some propaganda, some rules or any laws. Then some persuasion will apply pressure on the what is implementing agency to change their decision or to change the existing social system which is harming to the society or the good life, smooth life of the people. Okay, like that. Like we will make what is a change in the society in a positive manner. And another thing also is that through the non-violence. Okay. There are different ways there for protecting, but through non-violence. This is about a social action. We can see there are a lot of activists in our society. Okay, Medha Patkar is one of the example. Okay, just if you get times, just to go through the history of Medha Patkar and what are her, what are their contribution. Okay, then there are a lot of activists we can see. Then we can see that social action, it is not a sport revolution. Okay, it is an organized effort to change or improve the social condition. It is an organized. Our social action is an organized effort to make a change. Okay, to make a change in the society. The goal of social action is to redistribution of power, resources, human and material. Okay, redistribution of power and resources and human material, and it tends to influence the decision-making process at the political and social levels. The social action tends to can influence the decision-making process at the government level. We can see a lot of examples with the under pressure from the group of, from the activists. The government had deviating from their decision or policy. This is about this is some points. Okay, just for studying the social action, and you'll be learning social action very what's deeply the second year. Then in the historical development of social action, US, the West and India, the historical development. When we know the social action is as old as the human history. Okay. It was a history. It is not a new topic. It was a new origin. It has a long history back. It's a history as old as a human community in the world. And when we analyze the USA, I just pick out some points just for identifying the influence of, just for identifying the history of social action. Okay. When the first one is civil rights movement in the US, that is happening in the 15th century, civil rights movements. Then the part of Russian revolutions. Okay, if you are going to study of the Russian revolutions, you can see a lot of revolutions, like a Bloody Sunday. That was happened in 1905. Okay. Then some Hungarian revolutions in 1956. What is happening in Hungarian revolutions? Then a French Revolution also, the Boston Tea Party. There are a lot of examples out there. Okay, for describing, for tracing the history of social action, the past. And when we come to India, the revolution of 1857. What was the reason for our first independence revolution? We know our independence revolution started in 1857, right now. But that was started as a part of protection, okay, against the economic and political policy of British government in India. And the people were in the, it was started first in the Mangal Pandit, we know. They are taken, they are taken the issues about the policy and economic policy of the government. Then different social reforms movements in India. Okay. Then what is the revolution about getting equality? Then our freedom struggle. Then Gandhian's non-violence struggles. Okay, no, sorry, not struggles, non-violence movements. Okay, when we study about Gandhi on the history and his contributions, we can see lot of social action. Okay, and we are rich in writing the history of social actions. Okay, just to brief out this all the pick out some examples and brief, then it is enough to prove to identify the history of social action in the West and in India. Okay. Then next, the professional development of social work and development of social action. Okay, so some points, just trying to pick out some points. The professional development in social work and development of social action. The professional development in social work and development of social action. Some points. Okay. We know in the settlement houses in UK and USA. Okay, that is that is for improving the condition of poor people in the rural area. Okay, that was the first step of in the professional services in the area of social development and reform. And such an approach was set to follow here in cooperative and continuous the building one. That is the first. That's a part of the social action, and also the development of professional social work. As a part, that was a part of action. Means in the establishment of social movement or a settlement house or charity organization society, and also in the Elizabethan Poor Line 1601. That's all addressing the problems of the poor people, how to deal with the poor people, and aims to make a positive change in the society. Okay, and that was a contribution of social, some of the social action for the development of professional social work in the world. Then social action, once commonly called as social reform, always part of social work. Okay, we have already studied that social reform is an example of social action, and this social reform is always a part of professional social work. And as a professional social worker, we stand for social reform to make a positive change in society. That was the important objective of social action. Okay. Then another one is in the social providing social action. We know when we study the history, in the friendly visitors are called the paid agents. No, and then they are trained and they will giving what is it? They are paid. Okay, they are salaried and they are trained workers. That was the beginning of professionalism in the social work. We know professional social workers are paid, professional social workers are trained, right? Then in India, the development of profession began, as I said, just like before, the social action for professional development of social worker in India with the establishment of School of Social Work in Bombay in 1936. That is the present TIS, Tata Institute of Social Science. That was started in 1936 in Bombay. That was the professional development of social work in India. These are some professional some of the influence of what is that historic development of social action and the development of professionalism. Then some essential components. I think we already discussed about this, some essential components. Okay, and I will just give you some points. Means essential component is that one of the essential component is that the social action, the forces behind the social action lies in the group compulsion. Okay, the forces behind the social action lies in the group compulsion. It's a group, through the group. Okay, group force. Then the authority of the group arises out of the consent of its members. Means if any authority is leading any action or pointing out to the what is the issues if in a group it is with the consent of its members. Means all the members, as I said just like before, in the social action, and the members were given awareness about means about the issues. Okay, they are given a consciousness about the issues. Then belief in social progress should form the motivation of the participation. Means a positive social progress is a motivation to all the members, those who are participating in social action. That is essential component. And the action should be in accordance with the established democratic process, democratic practices within the constitutional right of the citizen. Okay, every action, every step in the social action process are taken based on the established democratic practices. Okay, there is no domination and there is no concentration of power to a particular person or what is a concentration of power to a particular group. Means it's a democratic process. These are some of the components in social action. And you can identify different components, okay, for social action. Then next one is social research. Social work research. This is another method, okay, which is included in the 6 methods of social work. I think we have learned social casework, social group work, community organization, social action. Okay, the next one is social work research. And it is one of the method of social work. Okay, and what is the research? Social work research and research, and particularly in research, what is research? Research, and we can say that in the name it's in the sentence it's having research, right now, studying the existing things, researching the knowledge, existing knowledge, finding new from the existing knowledge, existing facts, right? That's a research. And research can be defined as a critical and exhaustive investigation. Means in-depth is investigation and study of something. That is a research. It is a critical and exhaustive investigation of something. Means researching again, research, finding new from the existing knowledge. And the scientific research. And what is the faculty of scientific research? Means we know in the scientific research, it is a systematic process, right? Right now, and the aim of scientific research is to test and validate the existing theories to generate a new one. That is the research. Studying the existing things. That means if the say in the scientific research is used to test the scientific research, the research will test and validate the existing theories and also will make a new theory, a new facts, okay, from the existing theory. And scientific research is an important part of information gathering and investigation. And it has certain values and principles, okay, distinguished from other type of information gathering. That is a difference of research. That is a distinguish between research and some other kind of information gathering. And the research is based on some values and principles that the research it is seeking to discover something that is existing or is a truth. In the research, they are trying to discover something new from the existing thing. Then in the research, So following a special code of ethics, code of ethical behavior, or including the integrity and neutrality in conducting research, and concerning for protect the people it studies. Means people rights are protected. People's privacies are protected. People consent are uh, accepted. Means all the information are gathered with the prior consent of the people. Okay, and it that follows a code of ethical behavior. Means just respecting the integrity. Okay. Then being a new universal in his interest and representing the concern of all of society, even though the focus may be on one subgroup of people or a narrow topic being intended for a public purpose. Means, so in the by universal, is interesting in representing the society. If we study a particular group of people or particular group of people in the society, that represents the whole society. Okay, the samples are taken, but the samples will represent the whole. Then another one is inductive research and deductive research. That is a two kind of scientific method: inductive research and deductive research. We will be learning this all what is briefly in the 6th chapter. Those who are taking the topic as social work research. The research, the details of means when the data is collected about a phenomena before an explanation is hypothesized or suggested. Means data is collected and analyzed and make a theory to make a what is a theory or fact. But in the case of deductive research, the existing theories are used to draw a new conclusion about a particular problems in the society. That's the difference between inductive and deductive. One is inductive and another one is deductive. Another one is quantitative and qualitative research. In some examination, we found that the questions were asked what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative research, or define quantitative and qualitative research. Okay, what's quantitative and qualitative? Quantitative means quantitative research involves the analysis of numbers. Okay, analyze numbers. For example, the average of height of the students in the class 10, or the average weight of students in class 10. Then average mark of a particular subject in a particular class. We just analyzing the numbers. Okay, means analysis of numbers. And if you say it's a method that makes excessive structured interviews. Structured surveys. Data are collected by using surveys. This quantitative research are performed by using different kinds of surveys. Okay. Then based on some data reports. Then the method is used mostly in deductive studies. Means conclusions are drawn with the help of some existing theories. Okay. And whereas in the case of qualitative, what is qualitative? In the qualitatives, are characterized by semi-structured research techniques. Here, the behaviors are studied. We can study easily the average height of a students in class 10 in our school. And also another question is that study the emotional level of students of class 10, the happiness level of students in class 10. This is the difference between qualitative and quantitative. The emotional level, or how much happy you are. What is your height? We can say that. And how much happy you are. And we cannot say that I am this much happy. We cannot know. Therefore, analyzing for studying about that kind of behavior or qualitative data, we use qualitative research. There are different scales for analyzing our emotions. Okay, we use kind of different kinds of scales, parameters for analyzing our happiness, our emotional levels. This is the difference between quantitative and qualitative. Then the qualitative, the study situations of behavior. Okay, that mostly cannot be placed in the pronominal category. Means they in the qualitative study they used to determine the behavior. Okay, and the questions are open and open-ended, and responses are in word form. In the qualitative study, most of the answers are in open-ended. Okay, most of the questions are now open-ended. Interviews are used in collecting data in qualitative research. Observations are used in collecting data in qualitative study. Whereas questionnaire are used in collecting data in quantitative studies. This is about the social work research. Then another one is social welfare administration. This is a one of the secondary method of social work. What is social welfare administration? Social welfare administration. What is that? It's simply the definition is given. I will just go through one definition. Okay, the definition is given by John C. Kitniff. John C. Kitniff in 1950 that social work administration, the process of transforming. Okay, this is a process of transforming social policy. It's a process of transforming social policy into services. That's the definition of social administration. Yes, in the government or in the policies is practiced by government bodies, state or non-government government organization. Their policies, okay, and their development process are transformed as a part of social services in the community, in the society. And for transforming that, they adopt different principles, different techniques, different mode of ways. Okay, different mode of ways, different categories. And it is a two-way process. The first one is transforming policy, the transforming policy into a concrete social service. That is one process in the social welfare administration. They will transform the government policies, okay, the policies into a concrete social service. It's a fixed, a target-oriented, okay, an objective social service. And second one is, and another way is, service are provided, social work, social administration performed the use of experience in recommending modification of policies. Two process. First one is they will transform policy into the service that make a recommendation for the modification of policies. It's a two-way process. And social welfare administration is a process by which we apply our professional competence to achieve certain goals. Okay, it is called a process of transforming social policy into a social service or social action. Okay. And it is performed, and social welfare administration is performed means by transforming policy into the services. We have to deal with the knowledge of techniques of planning, how to plan, okay, how to plan the programs, what are our objectives, what are our goals, and how to implement. And the techniques of planning is then organizing the process programs in the community at the organization level. We have to make an organization, and for implementing the policies into the community, we have to deploy the staff. Staffing is there. Okay, and also we have to provide a direction, how to provide directions to the society. Then coordination is there. The coordination is there. Then and also budgeting. Okay, and that's our for the different techniques. Okay, are applied for implementing social policies in the society. Then when we study about the historic development of social welfare or social administration, okay, it has got two different stages. In the social welfare, concerning the social welfare, it is started from the beginning. Okay, as we studied about the history of social, what is the community organization, the things means, and when we study about in India, as concerning the social welfare administration, we can see the contribution of the King Ashoka, then Chandragupta Maurya, Akbar. Okay, their contributions. You can see there, Shesha Shuri. That means from the beginning, the rulers were concentrating for making hospitals, roads, okay, and other kinds of facilities, centers, etc. in the society for the betterment of the people. We can say, if you trace the history, we can see that the contribution of Ashoka for making a lot of social change. Okay, then Shesha Shuri, making road facilities and implementing the Rupia. Then Chandragupta Maurya and Akbar means in the field of administration to suited to the social needs. Okay, and also in the British administration also set up intended mainly for the revenue collection and maintaining law and order in India. We can see right now different policies they were made. That is one contribution. Then after independence in India, we can see that for the establishment of Central Social Welfare Board and different community development programs and projects, okay, as a part of social welfare. Many social welfare programs are included in our 5-year plans. Okay, that is that's some tips, some points in the capsule of historic development of social administration, okay, in India and the world. Then next one is about some concepts or some assumption about social welfare administration. Some assumption. What are some assumptions related to that? I will just read some. Okay. Social welfare administration, okay, is required to know the problem faced by professional social workers in social work agencies and communities in its concern with the social work function. It is required to know the problem faced by social welfare administration required to study the problem faced by social workers in the social work agencies or settings, while providing the social work function. Then also social welfare administration, it administrate and it implement the special programs intended for vulnerable group in the society. Okay, it administrate or it implements in the social welfare programs intended to address the problems of vulnerable group, just like a woman, weaker section of the population. Okay, then ill people, aged people, SC and ST. Okay, and also the disabled people in the society through social work process. Then also it organizes programs for sustainable social development. Through social welfare administration develops some social welfare programs for social development, sustainable development for social welfare. Then also it administers the resources and persons available for social work practice. That means for staffing, for recruiting a new staff, okay, for implementing the programs and projects. Then another one is it is essential for the effective administration of social service, social welfare services, social security, and social work programs at various levels. It administer the implementation, okay, for effective administration of different kinds of social welfare activities and social justice, social security, and social development programs in the community. These are all some kind of assumption. Then the places of social welfare, the places of social welfare administration in social work. Okay, the places of social welfare administration, the place of social work. You know, in the some of the situations or social work practices on which call for application of social welfare administration method and techniques such as planning, organization, coordination, supervision, and evaluation. These are the social work techniques. Means some dealing with some situation, okay, or for dealing with some social work practice, or implementing some for effective use of some social work practice. As a professional social worker, we use in the methods and techniques of social welfare administration, such as the planning, then organization, coordination, supervision, and evaluation of the projects. Okay, and organizing the project programs, coordination. We use this kind of techniques and methods for what is a smooth and implementation of our social welfare administration in the field. Then social caseworker. The social caseworker who is interested to obtain the information about the actual or potential effectiveness of services available in the organization for individual or couples or families can be use social welfare administration method. Okay, in social casework method, the social caseworker can use social welfare administration for making sure about the programs. What are the programs are mean for individuals, couples, okay, for the group, for solving the problems. Then social welfare administration can be used by social workers, social group workers, okay, who used to assess the extent to which in the techniques of role play is more or less effective than the group demonstration. With the help of social welfare administration, the social group worker can what is the use these techniques for evaluating his way, means just for evaluating whether the role play is more effective than a group discussion. Okay, in increasing the knowledge of, just for example, in the drug abuse among the school children. In that group activities, the group worker can use the methods, techniques of social welfare administration for analyzing the effectiveness of what is a role play, whether the role play is more uh, what is a competent or easy method than group discussion in addressing the problems of people and dealing with a particular kind of problem. Okay. Then the community organization. Organizer can use the social welfare administration methods and techniques to know the various community, to views the community before he or she take decision, okay, to change the program objectives. They help the community organization to to study, to know about the community, okay, before he or she intend to take any change in the existing program's objectives. And for the social work research, it provides a large scope for certain different kinds of research. That means action research, okay, and evaluate the current programs and provide some other indicators. Okay, then satisfied some indices development and strategies for social work process. It help in the social work research. It is used to evaluate the programs what is implemented, and also to evaluate the current programs, running programs, and they can make a necessary change. Okay, these are some kind of different field, okay, places of social welfare administration in the social work. This is about the social welfare administration. Then we can go to the what is it? International. I think about that international statement of socialism, right? No, international. Okay, then the last part is there. The last part is there. I will discuss about that. The journalistic approach. The journalistic approach in social work. Okay, the journalistic approach in social work. And there we intended to study the two theories. Okay, that we can just take the two theories. That is about GST, general system theory, and ecological system theory. There are two theories. Now we are just in the journalistic form, in the general application of social work. Okay, there are two different theories that there. The general system theory, or in a short form, it is known as GST. What is that? The general system theory, we can see in nowadays the most of the family therapists, okay, for solving the problem of family relation, the family therapy, for using the family therapy, the counselors use and the general system theory. What is that? General system theory is, I'll just give a few points, okay, about the general system theory. In the general system theory, we consider the family, or that is a family as a system. Okay, the general system theory. We know what is the system. We are belonging to a different system. Okay, the system, we know what is system. System is it is an entity, okay, in which more physical and mental energy is exchanged within the boundaries across them. That's the system. The system will have, in the system is an entity in which more physical and mental energy is exchanged within the boundaries of the system. Okay. When we take family, our family as a system, okay, our family as a system for a small group, the family, some family we may see that they are authoritative and very strict. Okay, in the family members are very strict, and within the family, they don't permit such any kind of interaction with the neighbors or the community or the society. What kind of community that? What kind of family that? We call, I mean, that means that family boundary system is very rigid. It is closed. No information will go from that family to neighbors. We can, if we analyze any families, neighborhood families in our own society, our own neighbors, we can see that some families like that. The economically they may be rich, education qualification. So obviously, but what are the communications happens in that particular family? What are the problems existing that it will not what is it conveyed to others. They may not share their feelings. They may not transform their information, their energy to other. Means then we can say that that family system is very rigid. There is why it is happening, because there is no what is a communication system dynamism in that family. That is why in the counselors, when the client comes for any problems or individual problems, what we will do? We will try to study the dynamism in that family. No, we will try to study in the relationship in that family first. Before concentrating a particular individual, is sometimes one individual may be coming in front of us, but we should concentrate the family dynamism. Okay, whether what are the what will be the communication pattern? Okay, energy transformation in that community as a system. Then, if the and we can say there is some other family. Some other family is very open. Okay, so their boundaries are open. But if it is open, then family system are different. Okay, some then boundaries are diffused families there. Okay, anyone can come. There is no what is a decision making power in the family. Everybody can what is a come into that family. That is why. That is the reason for a majority of the family breakdown and family issues. Our children are going to involve there are some kinds of problems because of our family boundaries. Our family subsystem and boundaries should be normal. If it is diffused, it means the people can easily involve. That is another topic. We can come to that. I am just concentrating on the GST or general system theory. In general system theory, the tendency of the system to use its own energy to keep going the entropy. Okay. If the system, as I said just like before, if the family has a very strict, okay, and yeah, and they use their own system within the family, and they are not transforming their energy system to others, that make that family in entropy. Means that family become in a trouble. Therefore, in the system trying to maintain a steady state of homeostasis, that family system maintains a steady state. Okay, and despite of any change in parts of any system that may affect the whole system, the general systems theory assumes that the whole system is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay, that is the most important of general system in family, in the family. That means uh, instead of focusing on a particular individual in that family system, the social workers, according to the general system theory, it's focus on the whole system because in the power on the effectiveness of whole system is greater than the part of that particular individual. Therefore, if any individual comes before us, we should study in the dynamism of that family, the relationship or the what is the information transforming system in that family, whether the communication are proper. If all the members are communication is smooth, then only that family system can work smoothly. And there, it is an important as a, part of a social case worker or social worker to work based on general system theory that to say to our what is our intention to give direction and help to make a whole support to a whole family, whole system, to help whole system to work properly. That is about the general system theory. Then ecological system theory is that we know and the persons are affected in the normal life. I'm just giving a simple. In the person's life are affected, are influenced from the environment where he lives. Right now, this is about that, and also our ecological system, in an individual's ecological system. Uh, I think in the another test, in the third textbook, you will be studying about the development stages of human being. Okay, in our different development lifestyle, development stage, our life, our personality development, our attitude are influenced by different matters, different forces from the environment and from our environment, uh, from society, from our family, from our genetics. Okay, and also our personality development are influenced by our interpersonal relationship. Okay, and also when our development stage, our growth, our development is influenced by any problems in the environment like inequality, social injustice, okay, any other problems in the society. That all will affect the personal development of a person. Okay, that means to create our ecosystem which is suitable for a smooth development of a person is very essential, and also a positive support and care from our ecosystem is very needed for a development of a person, of individual development. Okay, that is a very crux about the social system theory. Then another one is in your second textbook, social work profession in an education. Okay, I will just show you this textbook. Okay, the second textbook. You know, we came across one word, that international statement of professionalism. Means what is the international influences of international statement, international concerns about the professionalism, what is professionalism. Okay, that means the influences, okay, and recognition of social work profession and education system are different at developing and developed countries. We know in the first, we know in India, uh, we know it is a developing country. In some other developed countries, and just like underdeveloped countries, that and in the influence of the professional social work and recognition of social work are different in different regions of the world. Okay, that is one of the major concerns about international statement on professional socialism. Means in the professional social work, in the social worker profession has influenced or got a recognition, okay, as a professional social worker profession and education system are different, depends on different regions of the world. And the recognition of the professional social work in the developed countries are different from the recognition of professional social work in the developing countries. In India, we can say that the professional social work curriculum is less recognized. That is why, as a international perspectives, we are struggling now. We don't have any we don't have any educational council in our country. No, but we have a following what is in the ethics and the principles of National Council of Education in America. Their IFSW is there. We are we are following the code of ethics of IFSW, International Federation of Social Work, and American Council of Social Work. At international level, there are different. All the developing countries have their own councils. British Council of Social. They are developed countries, and there the social professions are recognized. They got highly influence in the society making. But when it comes to developing countries, it has got a less recognition. That is a major point when we stating in the international statement on professional social work or professionalism. Okay. Then according to IFSW, International Federation of Social Work, that social work stresses on the promotion of intervention with the individual, okay, as they interact with their surrounding on human, social, and physical level, and encourage the empowerment and the liberation of people as valuable social work practices. This is a major concern of IFSW about the social work at international statement. What is that? The social work promotion promotes. The social work stresses on the promotion of intervention with the individual. Okay, intervention with the individual. Okay, as they will interact with their surroundings on human, social, or physical level, and to encourage the empowerment and the liberation of people as a value of professional social. This is an international statement of professionalism given by the IFSW. Okay. Then we come to the Brazilian educator Paulo Freire. We all know about Paulo Freire. Paulo Freire also commented about the social work at the international perspectives. What is that? According to Paulo Freire comments that social workers were encouraged. Okay, social workers were encouraged to learn how to recognize social, political, and economical contradiction within the social orders, and to take action against oppression. What was definitely what is the concerns of Paulo Freire? Means social workers were encouraged to learn. Social workers should learn how to recognize social, political, and economical contradiction within the social orders. All the social workers should be encouraged to learn the social aspects, social conditions. Okay, the social, political, and economic contradiction within the society, and also to take action against that. It's very good. Okay, in international perspectives, according to Paulo Freire, social worker should have to encourage to analyze any problems in the economic contradiction. Okay, to encourage to learn about the social political contradiction. Yeah, and if there is any contradiction in the in this level, the social worker should take action to address the problem and take action and stand against this kind of oppression. This is about international. Then international statement on the value, the commentary. Okay, just in the international commentary, we can say that its mission is to enable all people to develop their full potential. That is an international commentary on social work. We can say that the commentary based on international professionalism aims to enable all people to develop their potential, enrich their lives, and prevent any dysfunction. That is what is the commentary on international progressivism. Then values. Social work out of humanitarian approach and democratic ideas. That is international perspectives. Social workers work out of humanitarian and democratic ideas. And social workers should stand for protecting the human rights and who should stand for social justice. Okay. Then theory based on its methodology on a systematic body of evidence-based knowledge. Okay, at the theoretic level, the social work intervention should be given based on evidence-based knowledge, means based on the research findings. And the services and the theories are developed it's based on evidence-based practice. It's very important. The social work approach should should focus on evidence-based practice. This is about the international statement on what is a social work. Then another one is that social work, based on social work, is that its implication for indigenization of social work knowledge. What are the implications for indigenization of social work knowledge? Okay, implication for indigenization of social work knowledge. This is very important. That means social work needs a cultural sensitivity in contributing culturally competent practices. All the social workers should be competent in what is it? Cultural sensitivity. Should have a knowledge, deep knowledge, and a sense about different culture. That means the social worker, they're trying to, social worker students do not use the knowledge of a particular group of people to generalize to every person in that group. He should have a cultural sensitivity. That is called indigenization. Means when we are dealing with a group of people, okay, we should not generalize whole group based on the culture of a particular person, because in the group, different people, different individuals have from different culture. Okay, then attention should be given in both in-group and intergroup variation and similarities. That means attention should be given to the individual's feelings, their cultural backgrounds. Okay. And social worker should not impose his cultural values on others, and should not use the cultural value of one group to solve the problem, to address the problem for another group, those who are belongs to another culture. Every individuals have different culture, their own culture, and our work should be based on their culture. A cultural sensitivity should be there. Then social work education. The social work education, the retrospect and the prospect, and the history of here, and the history of social work education in the US. Okay, we can see, we can just to go through the history of social work education in the US. And when we are analyzing the history of social work in the USA, you can categorize this history mainly three trends. Okay, there are mainly three trends happened for the development of social work education in the US. The first trend is that it is related to the development of different organizations. Just for example, Association for Improving the Condition of the Poor in 1842 and Charity Organization Society. We already studied, means settlement movement. Their work in the community. And the Charity Organization Society, they appointed volunteers. That is not a friendly visitors. We already studied that. And these friendly visitors visited the family and they identified the problems of the poor. They started providing services to the poor people in the community. And these people are not trained. These friendly visitors are not trained, and they were given training to understand the people, to understand problems of different group of people, to train the friendly visitor to the service delivery. That was the trend from the beginning. Okay, that was first one. The charity settlement movement, charity organization society. Then with the help of that, the volunteers called friendly visitors. They were given training programs to the service delivery. Okay, like that. They were giving a training to how to provide service to a particular group of people, how to handle a particular group of people. Okay. Then the second trend is that the academic social scientists on social problems such as poverty and crime. That means the second trend is that just for identifying the causes of the problem. The first, what was the stage? They were giving training and service delivery to the people. A second stay in the trend after a long, okay, it came that to just analyzing the problems, poverty and crime with the help of social scientists or just analyzing social problems. That was the beginning of some of the university. John Hopkins University, okay, University of Chicago. That's the development. That was happen as a part of educational process. That is development of educational development in social work profession in the US for the development of what is a New York School of Social Work. And in 1898, the New York charity organization, they started a 6-month training program to the volunteers, those who are giving service to the people. Okay, and many university, they started training courses on social work. Then in the third trend is that in that was started in after we can say in Indian case after independence now there was an influence of formal university level of social work education. What is what we are having, what we are studying now is they have started a formal what is a university formal level of education system. There started establishment of lot of women's college in the USA. The first school that was offered in the curriculum that developed into the called a training school. Okay, training school. Then in 1927, the Association of Training School. Okay, the Association of Training School, as a part of promotion of professional social work, became in the American Association of School of Social Work. In 1927, there was they started one association for promotion, for guiding, for giving training to the professional social workers, and that became the first association in America. That is American Association of School of Social Work. Still, we are also following some of the code of ethics and theories of this American Association of School of Social Work. And this American Association of School of Social Work has a lot of influence in development of professional social work, development of education, or in social work in India. Okay, and in 1932, then in America they adopted a 1-year special course for the field internship. They started internship, and in 1939 they started a 2 years internship. And in 1950, the National Council of Social Work Education started in America. Okay, here I'm just pointing out the history of social work education in USA. Okay, I just bring in some points from the beginning. In the USA, in the development of social work education, as I'm just beginning once again, development of social work education has started in three trends. We can develop into three trends. And just point out here, the first trends in the beginning of what is some social uh, association for promotion of the community, then charity organization, okay, then settlement movement, and their work, their implementation, and the training to how they identify the people, and how the training has given the people, those who are called friendly visitors. Okay, and then come to another session uh, is that the influence of analyzing the problems. Means the first case, the people were trying to give what is services to the community. Then in the second trend, it comes in the field of social scientist. How to what is analyze the problems of poverty and crime in society, how to deal with the problems. That is a special kind of training. It means educationally training to the people. That was the development. Means they are imparting training in social work to the people, and that also leads the development of Chicago University. That is the second case, and then the third trend is uh, for starting in the formal universities in the America, and also in the formal way of what is implementing the social work profession, and also for the development of association and educational counseling. Okay, then comes to in when we come and at last and at least in the current scenario, in the whole world there are a lot of universities, and there are different regions, different countries are developed. They have created their own council in social work education. They have started universities and colleges for imparting social work in BSW, Bachelor of Social Work and Master of Social Work, and research programs in social work. Okay, and also uh, development of different uh, National Council of Social Work Education at different countries in the USA. That was a development of social work education in the USA. This is what about in the history of social work education. Okay, in the USA. And when we come to the India, we tries the history of social work. We can say that it is started uh, in Mumbai in 1936 with the with the influence of American School of Social Work. Okay, it has started the first school of professional social work education started at Mumbai, and it started Institute of Social Science in 1936. Then it went to Varanasi. Then just started the Delhi School of Social Work. Then it's developed in the full-fledged all countries. Now in the in India, the lot of universities and colleges and central universities have started social work education in formal levels. Okay. Then about the distance education, we can start. This is what about the development of social work education in the world and in India. As I said, just like before, I'm just giving an inputs to you to which supports you to learn more about the topics from the textbook. Okay. This is what about the today class. Then one part is remaining, that is about development of social work in different countries. Okay. That we will learn in another class. Means the South Asia and different parts of the world. Okay, that's your first textbook that we learned another class, and also the distance mode of education in social work also we'll discuss in next class. Okay, this is what about today's class.